Step is going to be remove this cover from the top of your motor. I already removed it, but I'm going to show you the steps I took to get it off. First thing you're going to want to do is remove your oil fill cap. Make sure you take this off. Next thing you're going to want to do is over here, you're going to want to loosen the clamp up with a regular screwdriver. Then you want to come to this spot right here and get a pair of pliers and take that clamp out of there. Now there's one more area that has a clamp you need to take off, and is right under here on the underside. What you need to do is slide your screwdriver in this way and have your light kind of shining that way. And what you'll do is right at this spot, you get your visual and you unloosen it. Once you unloosen that clamp, all you do is you put your hands, in this top area and pull upward, and it'll come right off. All right. Alright guys, so where those white tissue papers are, that's where them open orifices are to the motor, so keep them covered so you don't drop anything inside your motor. Also, we decided to change the spark plugs since we already had the top cover off. It's real easy to do, it takes about 10 minutes. We already got one out. You just loosen up that coil and pull it off of the block there. So you take your 10mm socket here and you just reverse it out. Once you reverse it out, grab your coil your coil, and you pull it out of the block, just as I'm doing now. Once you pull that out, down in there is your spark plug. Get you a 5/8 inch spark plug socket and put it in there, and you extract your spark plugs. Now we did have to modify the intake manifold, the exhaust manifold that we bought. This is the exact model here. It didn't fit our application. It was hitting on the motor, so I had to trim the flange with a regular angle grinder that we had. It's nothing major, so you may not have to. You're gonna have to stick around for the rest of the video to see where we did cut it at. Here it is also. In the end of the video, or in the video, I didn't actually show me cutting it because I needed all hands, but I show you exactly where we had to cut it at. So right here, you just remove that top heat shield. Once you remove the heat shield, you can see the manifold right there. The exhaust manifold's cracked right in the center there, kind of. Those are the bolts right there or the studs with the nuts. The nuts will come off. Some of them, the whole stud's gonna come out. Don't worry about it. Just put them back exactly where they were. Pretty easy to get at. 13mm. Use your extensions, and they're pretty easy. We removed one half. You see where it's cracked? That's exactly where it was cracked at. That's the reason why we're removing it. Also, you see the two nuts there. There's a third nut. You need to remove those 3 nuts to separate the exhaust manifold from the catalytic converter. I believe they're 18mm. I used an impact with a swivel. Just stuck it in there, it came right out. It's pretty easy. Alright, so going ahead and remove your O2 sensor. I recommend removing it while the exhaust manifold is still in the vehicle. That way, you're not going to have to put it in a vise or anything. It's nice and anchored down. So go ahead and take that out. Alright, now I'm underneath the vehicle, And this bolt right here, you're gonna have to loosen up. You see it loose, sticking out. You gotta loosen that up in order for the exhaust to come down to get your exhaust manifold off. It'll hit on the studs there and just give you a hard time. So just loosen that up, and you know your exhaust pipe will come down and give you enough clearance to get the manifold off. All right, make sure that you take your old gasket off and put the new one in there. This is the O-ring that you're gonna need to. Make sure you place those. Right here, I'm just trying to position the new exhaust manifold to show you exactly where I need to trim. When I flip it here, you can see right where my finger is. I have to trim that. It's just too thick right there. So that's where I'm gonna have to trim it. And I'm gonna do a comparison to the other one in a minute here. But you can see how it's just pretty thick. And there you go. You can see that that's a little bit thinner, and that is thicker. So just cut it with the angle grinder. So we've got it put back in at this point, and we're just tightening up your O2 sensor. So remember to put that in. You don't want to forget your O2 sensor. You can see we got it in there. Don't forget to connect your O2 sensor also. It got dark out while we were doing the job. Took a little longer than expected, but we had to go and get a new O2 sensor, so that kind of took about an hour, half hour to go get it and then come back. So anyway, hook up your sensor. Once you got your sensor hooked up, you want to put your heat shield back on top, of course. And here's just a picture of the exhaust in two pieces, the manifold. There's a new manifold in there, and here we go with the new heat shield. Our manifold came with new bolts for the heat shield. There's the top cover we got put back on. Pretty easy job. I mean, you just gotta follow your steps.